The Brahmaya Sutra. The Brahmaya Sutra, may I ask thus: once upon a time the Blessed One was wandering in the Videhadena with about 500 great nuns, by virtue. At that time, a decrepit, aged 120 years old, with Nagandit Ketubha Shastra, with Siksha Erukti, transgressor of the Tripitaka, which is the fifth history, studying verses, studying grammar, supplementing the worldly Mahapurusha Laksana, lived in Mila. Brahmayu Bana heard that Sahakulaput Mahana Bawat Goyamu Sahakulan was a priest and wandered in Videhajampada with about 500 great nuns. The Lord God's wisdom rose up like this: these gods are Arhatha, Samyak Sambuddha, Vidyakarana Sampanaya, Subhataha, Lokavithaha, Anatara Purushadamiya Saratha, Devamanisnata Shastroa, Budhayaha, Bhagavatha. You know this world with gods and maras and bumblebees, and the community of gods and men with monks. You are Atakalayana, Madhya Kalayana, Pariyavasana Kalayana, Sartha, Sevianjana, Dhamma Disati, and you are proclaiming singularly perfect Parishuddha Brahmacharya. That kind of Rahatan view is good. At that time, a human named Uthara becomes the servant of Brahmayu Brahman. Nagandu with Ketubha Shastra, with Sikshana Rukti, with 5 parts of history, saw the Parathara of the Trivitas. Padashastra will be studied, grammar will be studied, Lokayata will be supplementary to Mahapurusha characteristic. Then the Brahmayu Brahman answered the human being: son, these Sakya Putras, Sramana Gautama, left the Sakya family and roamed about in the Videhajanapada with about 500 great nuns, and the Lord Gautama's Kalana Yasaji rose up like this. It would be great if that was the vision of Rahatan. Son of God, you sent. Go to the sowing cows. Did Yasaji rise from the cowherd's cowherd? Did not rise enough? And those farmers don't know. So, are those noble cows present at that meeting or not at that meeting? We will recognize that noble farmer as Edha's family. Bhavatni, how will I recognize that Bhavat Goyuma? Did the cowherd's horse rise up, or did the cowherd not rise? Answer, O son, if there were 2 people who were united with a great man by a certain sign. Is there no other quality? 32 such great men's characteristics have come in our Vedas. If you live in the future, you will be the king of righteousness who will fall with righteousness. He will be the Sakvathi king who will conquer the internal and external enemies, who will destroy the 4 seas. They are your 7 sons. He is like Shakraran, Hastaran, Ashwaran, Manaran, Satraran, Gurupatharan, Siddhvani Putraran. You have more than 1,000 sons of Paras and Madanas who have championed sperm bodies. You are conquering this earth, which has been surrounded by oceans, with a Danda and a Shastra with Panchasilad Dharma. If they come out of him, the filth of the world will be turned away, and the Arhat Samyak will become enlightened. Such are the characteristics of a great man. Answered, son, I am giving the Vedas to Kali. You have avenged me. Bhavatni, thus replied the Lord Brahma, got up from his head, worshipped Brahma, and went on a journey to the Blessed One at Videhadena. They wandered in order and approached the Blessed One. Come and be happy with the Blessed One. After finishing the stories that should be happy and should be remembered, it will fall. 122 Mahapuri's marks were applied to the body of the Blessed One. 32 Mahapuri's marks were visible on the body of Uttara Manawaka Bhagyavata, leaving only 2. It is wished for by the 2 Mahapurusha Lakshanas, it strives to search, it does not go to the sign, it does not understand because of wonder. Koshahita Vastragabhyaya Yaya Prabhu Tavatayatayaya. Then the Blessed One was moved and said, the Suthra Manavaka has my 32 Mahapurusha Lakshana and is very visible. From the 2 Mahapurusha Lakshanas, Akatsha is done, Vichakita is done, Adhyamukti is not done, Samprasad is not done. In Koshahita Vastraguya, as in Prabhuta Jivada. Then the Blessed One somehow saw the secret of the Blessed One's speech in Uttara Manavaka and did a similar thing. Then the Blessed One performed the Anyumarjana Paramarjana on 2 occasions. Both Nasaduru and Anyumarjana Paramarjana. All foreheads are covered with snakes. After that, Uttara Manavakaya was impressed. Sramana Gautama is blessed with Dwatransat Mahapurusha Lakshana. If I follow Sramana Gautama, I would like to see your attitude. After that, Uttaramanawaka pursued the Blessed One relentlessly for 7 months.
Then Uttaramanawaka wandered towards Mithila on Videha in the form of 7 flesh.
Wandering in order, Brahma came to Mithila.
Come and set up the Brahmayu Bana and pay obeisance. Brahma Bamuna sat down and said to Uttaramanavakaya, whose child, O Uttara, did Yasaji, who was born like that of Bhavat Gautama, rise up?
Didn't rise otherwise? Who are those great Gautama people like that? Isn't it different? That Bhavat Gautama has Kali Supratistadapada, and this Mahapuris Lacuna of that Bhavat Goyoma is also. Under the soles of those mighty Gautama, the 1,000-pointed rings, the celestial spheres, the universal perfect chakras were born. Those Bhavat Gautama are nervous. Those noble Gautams have long fingers. Those noble Gautama have soft young hands. Those great Gautams have netted hands. Those Bhavat Gautama, from the upper Kalpis, are Utsid Kapada. Those Bhavat Gautama, having bodies like wild beasts, are in Ajaja. As long as Gautama was there, those who did not bow would rub their knees with both hands. Those Bhavat Gautama, having Ajajata sunk in the Kosha, have Kosha height of Astraguya. Those Bhavat Gautama are golden. Kasun has a black color. Those noble Gautama people have delicate souls. Because the body is subtle, Rajas and Daily do not get stuck in the body.
Those Bhavat Gautams are a Kaikalomaya, each one born in a Loma Kupa.
Those Bhavat Gautama are also from Urdhvigra.
Romans were born who were born in a clockwise direction with dark blue Kundalavarata.
Those Bhavat Gautama have straight legs like Brahma. Those Bhavat Gautama have perfect flesh in 7 places. That great Gautama has the antecedents like a lion. Those Bhavat Gautama, with perfect limbs of flesh, are Vitantarams. That Bhavat Gautama is the Nyagroda Paramandal. As long as your body is, so is your exercise. As long as your exercise is, so will your body. Those Bhavat Gautama have Rasagrasagra. Those great Gautams are lions. Those Bhavat Gautama have Chatvarinchadanta. Those Bhavat Gautama have Samadanta. Those Bhavat Gautama are indisputable. Those Bhavat Gautama have Sushakladhanshtra. Those Bhavat Gautama are Prabhuta Jiva. Those Bhavat Gautama have Brahmasvara. Kiravai Kavilan has vowels like vowels. Those Bhavat Gautama have Abhani Lanatra. Those Bhavat Gautama, with Chakrashur Ganda like Rathavasans Chakrashur Ganda born at that moment, are Gopakshmaya. Urnaromana was born between the 2 brows of that mighty Gautama, like a soft feather. Those Bhavat Gautama are hot-headed.
These are also the Mahapurusha Lakshana of the great Gautama.
Those Bhavat Gautama are reconciled with these 32 Mahapuri signs. And those great Gautama walkers start with the right foot first. Walking, you who walk, like those who walk in deep water, do not bend your thighs, do not bend your thighs, like stepping on wet ground, do not stick, like those who walk in deep water, do not bend your legs, the feet of the great Gautama who go they do not move, nor do they use their physical strength, the great Gautama see, without turning their necks, they look at everything, you do not look up, by the number of stars, do not look down, do not look around, they look far above the distance, and so on. Even after that, his revealed enlightenment is revealed. You who enter Nilangama do not bend your body up, you do not bend your body down, you do not mark your body, you do not put your body, you do not roll over on your seat from very far away from very close, you do not sit on the asana with your hands hanging on it, you do not cover your body on the asana, you are found in the entrance. They do not come to the palm of their hands, they do not come to the pakukus, they do not sit on their knees, they do not sit on their knees, they do not sit on their knees, they do not sit with their hands, they do not fear, they do not tremble, they do not tremble, they do not panic. You do not bind, you don't fall, you don't shake, you don't panic, you have gone hair. Those great Gautama people had Nirvanavarta minds, including V. Nilagama. You don't tilt the bowl up, you don't tilt the bowl down, you don't hold the bowl tight, you don't shake the bowl. You don't drink too little or too much water, you imitate bulu bulu, you don't drink the bowl, you don't turn the bowl upside down, you don't put your hands on the floor, and the bowl is sloshed with both hands. The hands of God who held the bowl are swaying, and the water you tread on is not too far, not too close, but scattered. You who accept the rice, do not tilt the bowl up, do not tilt it down, do not hold the bowl tight, do not take the bowl with you. You accept rice, neither too little nor too much. Again, those noble Gautama people refrain from eating only rice. Do not exceed the rice bowl, Batpitta. With rice, those 2 or 3 times turn the rice bowl in their mouths and mix it, Gilathi, without mixing any Haktamaja into your body.
No vadhiti, no Haktamaja will remain in your mouth. Then another light is chased.
And those Bhavat Gautama eats food with relish, and neither eats with relish. And those noble Gautama people eat the Ashtadhya Sambhagata food. Do not pay attention to disease, do not pay attention to punishment, do not pay attention to adornment, do not pay attention. As long as you are holding the cup, those who accept the water don't lift the bowl up, they don't go down, they don't bend the bowl loosely, you don't bend the bowl, you accept the bowl dona water, neither too little nor too much. You imitate bulu bulu and don't shake the bowl, don't overturn the bowl, don't shake the bowl with both hands, when both hands shake the bowl, and when the bowl shakes, the hands shake.
You do not put the bowl in the natadar or natyasana of the Lord.
They do not scatter, and do not put the bowl on the ground in the natadar or natyasana, if you have touched it. Those who do not understand the bowl do not.
They don't keep the bowl for a long time.
As if you were besieged, they sit in confusion for a moment.
They don't eat that rice, they don't look for other rice.
With a righteous speech, the group is informed, celebrated, refreshed, and happy. You have blessed the group with pious speech to the facts, made them happy, got up and left with a smile. You don't get too busy, you don't get too lazy, you don't like to get up in crowds. On the body of Bhavat Gautama, the robe did not rise up to the jawbone, and did not come down.
Neither will it be
attached to the body, nor will it be separated from the body. The bodies of those great Gautama do not lift the robe of the air. The king's net is not spread in the body of those great Gautama. You went there and sat on the assigned seat. Seated basketball players are encouraged.
Those Bhavat Gautama are also engaged in foot bending.
You spread your feet and put on a fruit, tide, and keep your body straight and sit mindfully facing Karmasthana Bhimukha. You do not think for the sake of suffering for yourself, you do not think for the sake of suffering for others. They do not think about suffering for themselves or others.
Those Bhavat Gautama are thinking in the universal mind, whether it is self-consciousness, transcendental consciousness, or dual consciousness. You went there to see the Dhamma of the people.
They don't want that group, they don't condemn that group, but together with righteous speech, they point out the facts, celebrate them, make them happy and make them happy. And from the mouths of those Bhavat Gautams, Sleshmadan, comes forth the 8 harmonic sound, which is unbound, intelligent, sweet, audible, compact, non-scattering, deep and deep. Those great Gautama people are not more than people, and they are expressing themselves in tone. Your voice will not stand out from the crowd. He was expounded by the pious Gautamas, celebrated, watered, admired, raised with laughter, and descended from those who looked down on him with an unconquerable nature.
Bhavatni, we see those noble Gautams who grow up,
are also. When he said this, Brahmayu Brahman got up with a smile, gathered the Uttarasadga, tied his clothes to the Blessed One and prayed 3 times, "May that blessed Arhat Samyak worship the Buddha, may that blessed Arhat Samyak worship the Buddha, may that blessed Arhat Samyak worship the Buddha." It would be great if we could one day join those great Gautams, and it would be great if we would be a storyteller. At that time, the Buddhas who were wandering in Vidahajampada gradually moved to Myolu city. There, the Buddha lived in a mango garden called Muadev in Myolu. The Bamunu villagers of Mayalunara heard the message. Bhavatni, Sramana Gautama, who was the son of Sakya, left the Sakya family and came to Mayalunara with about 500 great Bhikshasadgas to roam around in Videha. They live in Amboyan named Muvadev of Mayalunara. This kind of Kalana Yasaji of that Bhavat Gautama rose up, Im Karananudu Bhagyavathu Arhatya, Samyak Sambadhyaha, Vidya Karanasampanaya, Sugathaha, Lokavada, Anatara Purusheta Mayasaratiha, Devamanasunada Shastrayaha, Budhayaha, Bhagyavathaha, you are the gods with the mortals, with the snakes, with the gods, and with the mortals, with the great men. The community knows and informs itself with great wisdom.
You are Adi Kalyana, Madhya Kalyana, Paryavasana Kalyana, Sardha, Savyanjana, Kevala Perfect, and Dhamma. Pure Bambasara said, "It would be nice to have a daughter of such arhats." After that, the Bamunyiga women of Mayulunyawara came to the Blessed One. Someone came and bowed down to the Blessed One. One was happy with the Blessed One. After the happy and memorable speech, they fell asleep. Someone bowed to the Blessed One with his clothes on. Someone bowed before the Blessed One and bowed down. One of them died in Tushnambhuta. Ramayobhamunu asked, Shramana Bhavat Gautama, who was ordained by Sahakulaput Sahakulan, is living in Muadev Ambuyan, Mayulunyawara near Mulu city. Then Brahmayobhamunu went to Muadev mango orchards with many monks. After that, Brahmayobhamunuha got angry and said, "If I don't tell you in the forest, if I come to see the cows, then the oil is not right for me." Then Brahmayobhamuna addressed a certain man, "Man, you are here." Approaching the sages, he said, "Brother Gautama, Lord Gautama, the hands of Brahmayobhamuna have given me the ease of lightness of body without hindrance. Also recite, Venerable Gautama, Brahman is old and has lived for a long time. He reached the Western age, he was born 120 years old, he went beyond the Trivitas, which is the fifth part of the history with Nagandakatuba Shastra, he studied the hard grammar." Supplementary to the Lokayattamahapura Salaksana. It is said that while Brahman women lived in Myolu, they were the first of the Brahman crops. It is said that Brahmayo Brahman is Ayusha and Yasasinadu Agrayaya. Hey Bhavat Gautama is willing to see. Thusya Bhavatni said that man Brahmayo Bhamunuha and approached the Blessed Ones. Ilemba was happy with the Blessed One. After talking about the things that should be happy, fall asleep. That man who sat down and said to the Blessed One said, Bhavat Gaman, may the Brahmayo Brahmans, Bhavat Gautama, have an unobstructed, light, and easy physical exercise. O Lord Gautama, Brahmayo Bhamunu Jurnaya. Complementary to the Lokayattamahapura Salaksana. For some time, Brahman women lived in Myolu, and it is said that Brahmayo is the best of the Brahman crops. Of them, Brahmayo is called Agra in the Bhamunu Veda. Brahmayo Bhamunu is said to be Ayusha and Yasasinadu Agra. Hey Bhavat Gautama, you are willing to see. Thus, Bhavatni, the man addressed Brahma and approached the Blessed Ones. Ilemba was happy with the Blessed One. After talking about the things that should be happy, fall asleep. That man who sat down and said to the Blessed One said, Bhavat Gaman, may the Brahmayo Brahmans, Bhavat Gautama, have an unobstructed, light, and easy physical exercise. O Lord Gautama, Brahmayo Bhamunu Jurnaya. Complementary to the Lokayattamahapura Salaksana. For some time, Brahman women lived in Myolu, and it is said that Brahmayo is the best of the Brahman crops. Of them, Brahmayo is called Agra in the Bhamunu Veda. Brahmayo Bhamunu is said to be Ayusha and Yasasinadu Agra. Hey Bhavat Gautama is willing to see. Manavukaya, it now knows that Brahmayo Bhamunu Kal. Then that sage Brahma came to Bhamuna. Then Brahmaya said to Bhamunuha, there are spaces made by Bhavat Sramana Gautama, that. Then Brahma came to the Blessed One. The group saw Brahmayo Bhamunu coming from a distance. After seeing Yasasvi, he was given space by a relative. Then Brahmayo Bhamunu said to the group, Bhavatni, there is no problem, you are sitting on your seat, here I am sitting with the monks. Then Brahmayo Brahman came to the Blessed One. Come and be happy with the Blessed One. After finishing the important speech that should be happy, fall asleep. Ikatpas Vehan Brahmayo Bhamunu examined the 32 Mahapuris marks on the body of the Blessed One. Brahmayo Brahman placed 2 marks on the body of the Blessed Ones and saw 32 Mahapuris marks. Mahapuri seeks to see, 2 marks, strives to search, does not go to the mark, does not fall from vision. Both in Koshai. Goyaman, even if I ask about 2 great virtues, I do not see 2 of them in the body of the bridegroom. O Naradama, who has the Koshahita Vastragudya of Kima Bhavathu? What is the feminine form of non-germative language? Kima Prabhuta Jiva Vehi? O great sages, if we know it in a certain way, then the fat and thin tongue will come out. Doubts removed.
If you want something, you have the opportunity to do it. It is possible for the worldly happiness and the paralokika sukha.
Sandabhagyavatu was moved and said, "This Brahmayo Brahman keeps 2 marks of my 30 Mahapuris. 2 marks of Mahapuris are Akadsha, Vichikitsa, not marked, not Samprasad. In Koshahitavastraguya and Prabhutajivada." If the Buddha had seen the Koshahitavastraguya of the blessed Brahmayo Brahman, such an image would have been created.
Then the Buddha examined the Anyamarsha from the 2 protruding tongues, also examined the Anyamarsha from the 2 eyes, and closed all the foreheads. Then the Buddha said to Brahmayu Bamunuha, if a person with great courage asks, Bamunatopa, you are Dedasake, it will all be in my body. Do not doubt yourself. Bamuna, I have known the Datayata, I have used the practice, the Prahatavya has been banished, therefore I am Buddha. In the heart there are spaces made for the mind, and in the outer space for the happiness. If anything is desired, it is available. Then Brahmaya Bamanha was moved and said, I have the space made by the Sramana Gautama. What will I sow with the hands of Guman? I halukya arthaya, or ya paralokika arthaya, or ya. Then Brahmaya Bamuna became very happy and said, I am skilled in Bukali Drishtadharmakartha, others also cultivate Drishtadharmakartha by me. It would have been better if I had built the Samparai Kartha by the hands of Mahana Guman. Then Brahmaya Bamunu spoke to the Blessed One in verse, Bhavatni, who is Brahman, who is Vedagu, who is Trividya, who is called Sophia. Bhavatni, who becomes an Arhat, who becomes a Kavali, all-rounder, who becomes a Muni, who is called a Buddha, why?
At that time, the Buddha replied to Brahmaya Bamunuha with a stanza, whoever knows the pre-dwelling, divine, sees heaven and hell, returns to the nation, with Arhajnana, Abhijanana and reaches the end, Arhajnana Sadhyat, reconciled with wisdom.
One who knows the pure mind freed from all desires, who has overcome races and deaths, who has all the 4 paths, who has gone to the path of all, Lavulavucharu, Dhammas, such a person is said to be Buddha. When he said this, Brahmaya Baman got up from his chest, united with the north, bowed down with his head at the feet of the Blessed One and kissed the feet of the Blessed One. It is massaged further, Bhavat Kau, I am Brahmaya Brahmana, Bhavat Kau, I am Brahmaya Brahmana, but the result is. Then, the people were amazed and amazed, Bhavatni is amazing, Bhavatni is mysterious, see a great vision of the monks, see a great inspiration.
This Brahmaya Bamunu, who is well known in a certain way, is doing this kind of supreme act.
Then the Buddha said to Brahmaya Bamuna, no matter, Bamuna, get up and sit on your seat, don't you lighten your heart towards me.
At that time Brahma Bamuna got up and sat on his seat. Then the Buddha spoke to Brahmaya Bamunuha.
As such, they declared the lameness and ineptitude of Sankleshas, such as Dhanakatha, Silikatha, Svargakatha, Kamayans, etc. Once upon a time, Buddha Brahmaya Bamuna had a healthy mind, a gentle mind, a suffering-preventing mind. Datsek also said that it was some Samakansika, Sivsas, Dharma preaching of the Buddhas at that time, Dukkaya Samadaya Nirodhaya Margaya. If so, why does a holy garment with faded blackness stand on it? Then I said to Brahma, if there is any Samadaya Dharma, there is all that in unity. I born then Brahmaya Bamunu Daknalada, Lovathuru, became a scholar who had knowledge, came, learned, descended, ascended, became wise, disappeared, doubted, and became a scholar. Dear Gautama, you are very dear. Venerable Goyama, do you open up a hidden object, open a burnt one, guide a deluded person, or carry an oil lamp in the dark, those who have eyes see images, etc.?
I take refuge in Gautama, Dhamma, and Bhiksangana. Lord Gautama, may I be a devotee who has taken refuge from today. Along with Bhavat Gautama's Bhiksangana, Sita Ma's rice is also tolerated. The Buddha ate with awe.
Then Brahmaya Bamunu, knowing the abode of the Blessed One, got up and bowed down to the Blessed One. After that, Brahmaya Bamunu came that night and prepared delicious food in his house and said, Lord Gautama, the rice is ripe, let the Blessed One grow. Then, in the early morning, the Buddha came to the home of the Brahma Bamunas, taking the cloths of the morning sun. The witches of Asna who have come and worked with after that, Brahmaya Bamunu stayed for a whole week with Buddha Pamak Bhiksagung, eating and drinking delicious food. At that time, the Buddha left for the tour of Vidihadanavi after passing that 7 days. Soon after Brahmaya Bamunu Buddha left, he performed Kalyuriya.
Then many monks came to the Blessed One. The Blessed One came and bowed down. That monk, who fell down, said to the Blessed One, Sir, Brahmaya Bana has become black. What is his nature, birth? Hey, who will be in the hereafter? Monks, Brahmaya Pandita, who follows the Yan and Harma, lower threefold path, of Dharma, Arhat Marga.
I am not tired for the sake of religion. Monks, due to the decay of the 5 primary combinations of Brahmaya Bamuna, the water that is present in the world of Siddhavas will become apapathika. Buddha said this. Those happy monks appreciated the language of the Blessed One. The first is the Brahmaya Sutras.